Well, now it's still Ramadan, and in addition to fasting, we pray and meditate. So having talked about fasting the last time, I'd now like to talk about meditation. The two are strongly linked, and often the techniques are somewhat blurred, and I will repeat myself a bit from the last time. What I would say, in Kejawen, we don't have the dualistic conception of the creator and the created, between microcosm and macrocosm. I'm not necessarily saying it's a non-dualist philosophy, although some people would argue that, but there is no clear boundary line between the two of these. So the whole is made up of parts, but each part is already an exponent of the whole, a bit like a hologram. Or another way of looking at it is a stick of Blackpool rock, because if you cut that stick of Blackpool rock anywhere, it says the same thing throughout. Now this is part of a new section to the magic of Java, called the real magic of Java. In this new section, I'm going to focus on real people performing what they believe to be real magic in Java. I'll attempt to explain some of the elements of this Javanese magic, particularly what I describe as the Kejawen elements. However, I need to warn you that inevitably my explanations will be partial. Maybe sometimes some elements of what I say will be incorrect, for which I profusely apologise. But this reflects the oral tradition of magic in Java, the mystery, and at times, I have to admit, subterfuge surrounding the practice of magic in Java. Please accept my apologies, but I do hope you enjoy this new section. Okay, so there's various meditation techniques, and one of the most famous ones is Tapi Pati Jeni, which is avoiding fire or light for a day or days, isolated in dark rooms. Often it's included with fasting, and you cannot see light either from fires or lights or sunlight. You cannot fall asleep, and if you do fall asleep, you have to repeat it. Tapa Nungadam, which means standing on your foot from sunset until sunset, 24 hours in silence. Tapa Jegjeg, one's not allowed to sit for around 12 hours, not bending the legs as it's seen. Tapa Lenono, one has to do a walking trip from 12 till 3 at dawn. And this is a very important meditation technique because it's one of self-reflection. Tapa Kungumpum, this is the most important of all the techniques, and this involves meditation under a small waterfall or at the meeting point of 3 rivers, Tempuran or Tunjapuan. Often you're naked when doing this. It's very powerful if you can actually do this facing east, as you're now calling upon Niroro Kidal for her blessings. It's often conducted at midnight, and it's especially done on the night of Satu Suro. Suro is a month. In fact, Satu Suro is the Islamic New Year. But to the Javanese, it's an important day in its own right. It's a bit like Halloween is in the West. You might find using this technique there are stones washed in turmeric water and blessed. And you may also find the use of aloe vera shoots, especially for drying oneself up. Then the final form I'd like to talk about is Tapa Unglewang, and quite scary form. And the person buries themselves up to their neck in an isolated place. And this will be combined with no food or water. Often goes on for 24 hours. People who do this meditation believe they gain supernatural vision. Enables them to commune and command the dead, but also to become almost dead themselves, allowing ghosts to possess them. For once a devotee's done this, death will no longer hold any mysteries and be something that's inevitable and somewhat close. And now, I'm calling this tapa sumra, but it's really a description of the various tapa. Sumra literally means total surrender. So it's the total surrender of the ego as a condition necessary to be able to receive teachings and messages from your guru. Could be a single session as well as a whole process. Begins with a deep relaxation of the body, the feelings of the mind, in order to create the space and the silence necessary for awakening and unfolding of awareness. First of all, this means a basic change in perspectives, either as a perception of reality or your interaction with it. Through the practice of deep relaxation and meditation, you gradually will be able to move out of the position of concentration. Concentration is then slowly replaced by a more open and receptive position, which is not only more relaxed, but also not depending on concepts and preconcepts. Finally, you can be more open to messages that are not always logical and new kinds of experiences and events. In Sumra, the importance given to the level and phases has a very flexible quality. Stages of conscious should not be considered as rigid divisions, nor in any way permanent. They can have an indicative value of the progression of one's spiritual process. In Sumra, there are three main stages in the process of spiritual maturity of the person who's practicing it. Takid, drive, will, the intention, the starting that will take us. For example, the decision of taking part in meditation, or more general, the beginning of a spiritual quest. Imam, faith and belief, is faith in the divine plan. It's a belief which supports your choice, not only because our will agrees, but because our heart knows that it's the right one. And then finally, Sumra, which means total surrender, where the practitioner lets go completely and just follows the process, allowing themselves to be in the inner position of receiving and accepting what's given, without any more using his or her will or being dependent on faith. It's a completely neutral position. No effort is needed. Right, well, I think we should practice some meditation. Now, before we do, I want to say that meditation doesn't have to be formal. A mindfulness meditation isn't about letting your thoughts wander, but it isn't about trying to empty your mind either. Instead, it involves paying close attention to the present moment, especially your own thoughts, emotions and sensations, whatever it is that's happening. So I meditate like this when I'm walking in the mountains, attempting to speak to animals, plants, and the mountain itself. Now, it's inevitable that during meditation your mind will roam. You may notice other sensations in your body, things happening around you, or just get lost in thought, daydreaming about the past or present, possibly judging yourself or others. Nothing wrong with that. It's natural, just as natural as breathing. It's a natural condition for the mind to wander. And when this happens, simply note what you were thinking about and what it was that was distracting you. But I also set aside a time for more formal meditation, and it's equally important to establish a routine and get comfortable in that practice. Even a few minutes every day can make a big difference. So I actually normally do it 5 times a day after I pray. I sit in a lotus position, but whatever makes you feel comfortable. And what we're going to do is use a guided technique called Solomon's Temple. Okay, so first of all, you need to find a place that is quiet. You probably can't eradicate all noise, but as quiet as possible, and make yourself comfortable. It's okay if you're seated. It's okay to be in the lotus position. It's okay to be lying down, providing you don't fall asleep, although sometimes I do when I'm lying down, and it's not a bad thing, it's just not really the meditation. So okay, get yourself into that position. Are you there? Do you feel comfortable now? Okay, now just be aware of your surroundings for the time being. If there are noises, what are those noises? Just listen to them. Okay, now slowly, I'd like you to close your eyes. Now what I'd like you to do is to exhale slowly and calmly. Now inhale, and as you inhale, you can feel your stomach is swollen like a pregnant woman, and I want you to hold your breath. Now as you exhale, you can feel your stomach is flat and sunken. Now just practice that a few times by yourself. Can you hear yourself breathing? Listen attentively to it. If you can listen to yourself breathing, there's nothing else disturbing you. Maybe you can even focus your mind on God. Keep breathing and being aware of your breathing. I'd now like you to think of a hillside or a mountain. Although you're walking up it, you feel very light. It's a lovely sunny day. Look at the path ahead. Can you see the top of the mountain? And can you see a temple at the top of the mountain? What does it look like? Now take notice of the plants, the flowers, and the trees around you. Are any of them saying anything to you? What are they saying? Can you now see any animals? Are any of them saying anything to you? What are they saying? Focus again on the mountain. Keep walking towards the top. Is the mountain speaking to you? What is it saying? Are you getting close to the temple? Can you see the door? Now you're at the temple. Open the door. It's very big and it opens slowly. Step inside. Allow your eyes to adjust. Look around. What can you see? Are you drawn to something? Move towards it. Explore what it is. Check carefully. Look around again. Is there anything else you want to explore? Do it again. Look around again. As you look towards the back, can you see an altar? Move towards it. Are you now at the altar? Is there something on it? What is it? inspect it. Is there anything else? Inspect this. Look towards the back of the temple. Can you see a small door? Move towards it. Are you at the door now? Open it. Step inside the small room. Allow your eyes to adjust to the light. What can you see? Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep looking. Now leave this small room for the main temple again. Have a good look around. Is there anything else you want to explore? Now move towards the door. Open the big door. Move outside and close the big door. Now start walking down the mountain. You feel very light. It's still a lovely sunny day. Follow the path down the mountain. Enjoy the beauty of the mountain. Enjoy the plants, the flowers, the trees. Enjoy the animals. Are you now at the bottom of the mountain? Are you home now? You can open your eyes. Well, I really hope you've enjoyed this. Because these are real events, I can't say how regularly I'm going to be adding to this subsection. Because I don't know how often they're going to occur. But I would imagine that there'll be at least every couple of months, maybe monthly. Now, if you'd like to know when that's going to be, please subscribe and hit the button, and you'll get information on when new ones are released. I'd love you to make comments and ask questions, and if you do, I'll attempt to answer them as honestly as I can. I promise you that there's no attempt on this channel or this part of this channel of me. There'll be no attempt by me at any type of subterfuge. I'll try to be as honest and open as I possibly can be. Inevitably, there will be some of you who disagree with my interpretation, and we can agree to disagree. But what you're seeing is real stuff here. What I'd love you to do, if you enjoyed this, is look at my other sections. Particularly, I've written novels about magic in Java, and they contain much more information in them, especially me trying to understand the theories of magic, the psychology of it, and I try and intersperse them with a sort of spiritual dimension. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.